They say only the good die young, but what about those who die before their time but still have unfinished business? Join me today as we uncover the story behind a haunted house that is home to the spirits of children who never got a chance to say goodbye. Our next terrifying tale comes from a listener who wishes to remain anonymous. All I know is that it took place in Florida. I was living in an apartment complex. It was an older complex built in the early to mid-1900s. The apartment was on the second floor. You had to go up a flight of stairs to get to the second and third floor apartments. There were 3 apartments on each floor. Mine was in the middle. The apartment next to mine on the right was vacant for most of the year. Then one day a family moved in. They seemed nice enough. A husband, wife and 2 kids. A boy and a girl, maybe 6 or 7 years old. One evening I heard what sounded like screams in the apartment next door. Obviously I thought nothing of it. Kids will be kids. But then every night I started hearing the same thing. Screams and loud, drawn-out moans. Every night at around 4 a.m. I would hear these sounds for about 15 minutes and then everything would go silent. I told my wife to just ignore it. I'm sure it's just some overly dramatic kids. One evening I came home from work early and I heard the screams. I told my wife to stay in the car while I went to investigate. I knocked on the door, and as I waited for a response, I could hear the commotion next door slowly coming to a halt. As I was about to knock again, the door opened and the little girl came out with a big smile. She said hi and I asked her if everything was okay because I could hear her and her brother screaming inside. She responded by saying, "Oh, that we were just playing," and she went on to tell me that they liked to play really loud games. I told her that it was probably best to keep it down a little bit, and then I went back to my apartment. Over the next few weeks I continued to hear the commotion at night. But now I would also hear footsteps during the day when I knew the kids were at school. I even started hearing whispers. One night I was awoken by what sounded like whispering. My wife and I looked at each other and said, "Did you hear that?" We decided to just go back to sleep. Then we started hearing chains dragging metal moans. That's when we decided we had heard enough. We packed our things and we left that apartment. The strange thing is, after we moved out, the new apartment we moved to was directly across the hall from the apartment with the kids. I thought this was going to be a great opportunity to confront the family about the noise. So I went over and introduced myself. When I told them that I was moving in, the mother's face turned completely white and she started apologizing profusely for the noise. I responded by saying, "Nah, it's all good. Just wanted to introduce myself." And I could tell by the look on her face that she knew exactly why I was there. She must have thought I didn't know that they were the reason for all the commotion, but I did. I never did confront them about it, but almost every night we would hear the chains dragging moans and the occasional scream. After a couple of months, we couldn't take it anymore, so we moved out of that apartment as well. Before we go, I want to send a big thank you to our supporters whose names you can see on screen right now. If you want to see your name on the screen and show the world your support for the channel, join our membership program today. I'll see you next time.